Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Nicole with the Bushel and Designs. Today we're working on this pre-designed, pre-cut, printed, full vinyl wrap sheet. It is from 311 Co. And it's so fun because it's like all designed with a decal on there already, so it makes designing and putting together a tumbler super quick and easy. I decided to go with this one. It says pray over it, pray on it, and pray through it. I love that saying. I love the black and white grungy look. So I'm working on a 20-ounce straight tumbler from the Tumbler Supply Store, and I spray painted the top and the bottom rim black. I knew that I was going to have one of the edges showing and add a little bit of glitter, so I went ahead and sprayed both edges. I decided to leave the bottom rim open so that I could add some glitter. And what I did was I am going to apply it with the hinge method, and I was going to apply it in this direction, but then the way it was printed, I left a little tiny bit of a lip on one edge. Like, I didn't trim all that white off just in case it for some reason didn't like line up perfectly straight when I wrapped it around. So I put that piece back on and flipped it around so that this edge was laying down first, so that if the vinyl, when it wrapped around, it covered that little bit of a lip. I hope that makes sense. So I actually stood up my little spinny cradle thing here and drew a straight line down, which helped me line that up. And then I'm going to now apply it with the hinge method, and I'm just using the felt edge of my squeegee to help me lay that down flat. So I peeled all that off and got that laid down nice and flat, and I did actually lay it down completely straight. And then I am going to take my very sharp X-Acto knife and trim off all of that top overhanging edge. Look how easily this tray helps me trim this edge. I literally cut a little bit off, pulled it, and it's rolling completely by itself. I love this thing. So then we are going to go instantly into glittering the bottom portion. I'm just going to tape off that vinyl so that we don't get any glitter on it. I'm going to just use my really thick painter's tape, and then I am actually using my foil adhesive for this because I wanted to be able to move on to the next step immediately. So if I'm in a hurry, and especially with a very dark color, I don't like to use UV resin because it takes quite a while to dry, I feel like, that way. So I'm just going to apply the foil glue, heat it with my heat gun to speed up that drying process, and when it turns from cloudy to clear, you know it's ready. And then I am using Formal from Diamonds and Dust for this black. It is beautiful. It's not a chunky cut at all. It's like a medium fine, I guess you could say, and it has these little like color shifting silver in it, but it's still black. It's so pretty. You have to get this one for sure. So I covered that, and then I am going to give it a good spray with some Rust-Oleum's Clear Glossy Spray Paint. Let that dry, and then we are going to add a coat of epoxy, but in the epoxy I'm going to add this pixie dust from Diamonds and Dust. It is an ultra fine glitter, and look at that color shift. It is so hard to see in here, but you can kind of see which it picks up the same color shift that that black glitter has, and it is beautiful. Now, keeping on theme with the same silvery color shift, I cut some super thin lines to stripe out all of these checkerboard. So I believe this vinyl is from Tech Rep Crafts, and I've had it for a while. I tend to buy it in bulk because I go through it quite a lot. But the lines I want to say are a 0.020, if I'm not mistaken. I wanted a very thin line. I don't want it to take away from this design, but I just wanted it to enhance all of these checkerboard squares. So I lined them vertically and horizontally, and what I'm doing, because it has like a faux bleach spot where the decal is, or the decal wording is, I am not going across those, and then I'm going to trim it off so it looks like the checkerboard vinyl lines are behind that. So I'm just going up towards it, and then you'll see here in a second I am going to just trim them off all the way around. And then on the very bottom stripe between the glitter and the vinyl, I'm going to add a little bit of a thicker stripe just to break up some of that other striping lines. Now I'm going to go through and trim off all of those overhang lines on the bottom and the top. The reason I didn't trim it before is because I laid down the thicker bottom stripe over the vinyl lines, and then if I trim them off, it kind of helps hold them all in place, I feel like, so there's not as much chance of lifting. And here you'll see what I'm talking about when I said I just laid them down and then I'm trimming off basically where that faux vinyl spot starts, so it just looks like these lines are underneath all of that. I then decided to go in with one more of the same stripes that I used for outlining the boxes and give it just a extra little oomph stripe down there on the bottom rim. So I put that under the thicker stripe, and then I decided it needed something a little bit more because, you know, sometimes I just don't know when to stop. I just am like, I feel like it needs more. Oh, I think it needs a little bit more. And I was convinced that this one also needed some of the same holographic cheetah spots or leopard spots. So I then recently saw a tutorial that Trina did from Diamonds and Dust where she had a similar-ish design and she added some alcohol inks right over the boxes so it looked like the boxes were colored. So I took this alcohol ink that is a bright neon pink. I got it in a cup swap, so it's my first time using it. They are a little bit strong in smell. I think it's the Marabou brand, so just like the inks that you use for marbling. And I just added some random pink spots. I wanted to go with pink because there was just a little bit of pink in the decal design, so I wanted to kind of bring that out. After that, before adding any epoxy, I went in with these cheetah leopard spots that I cut using the same holographic silver vinyl. I am just going to add the spots in the same spot, the same area that I put that pink color. I just thought it would be a good background to help make those spots stand out, but also it's not really taking away from the overall design. And you'll see here I'm adding them here, and then I do go back because that very first spot that I just showed you, I had some of the spots hanging off, not on the pink, and it was bothering me, so I had to go back in and move those down, so it was just basically the spots on the pink area. I don't know about you, but I find laying down leopard cheetah spots relaxing. It's almost like a puzzle to me, like making the pieces fit together so that they look good and cohesive and all flow really nicely together. But after that, I gave it 2 final coats of epoxy and this beauty was all done. It is such an easy way to create a tumbler very quickly with this wrap because it's all the hard work is done for you. It's pre-printed, you just slap it on. You could do it and not add any amount of glitter and no cheetah spots and be done that way. So I love this idea. It's the first time I've ever ordered one of these pre-cut designed tumbler wraps like this, and I will be getting more for sure. This one will be available on my website if you would like to snag it. It's so pretty. Look at those stripes. That holographic shift is so pretty. But I again hope that I have inspired you in one way or another, and I will leave all the details where to find me and all the products that I use down in the description box. And I will be back on Saturday with another tutorial for you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you then. Bye, y'all.